You see, Phil, Burrata boy, when I go out and watch, I observe. There's my house. There's my neighbours. There's the mountains that see the sun last well after it's set here, especially that one back there, which obviously isn't going to show now because the sun is sufficiently far enough away. But the last glowing edges of the neon, which you can see there for yourself in the orange band above the horizon, is the last of the atmospheric gases to glow. The argon, which dominates, making the sky a deep blue, is the first to vanish, and that pale blue that changes with exposure as I move my camera, because it's always adjusting for best light. Unfortunately, it won't stay true to colour. But that pale blue is the oxygen layer, the limits of our atmosphere. Everything is within. It is also known as the waters above because it's a superfluid liquid oxygen. It behaves a lot like water and sometimes like gas, especially in the heat of the day. But when it's really cold at night, it will be the waters above. And that's only 12 to 14 miles high, and that's where that apparition of the moon, you can still see part of the dark side at this stage, especially with a bit of overexposure and poor focus. But the naked eye sees a lot better. That is a holographic plasma projection from the moon beyond the glowing atmosphere. And the reason you can't see it is because the moon is in the way. The holographic plasma apparition is in a direct line of sight between you and that tiny moon, which is probably invisible to the naked eye or no bigger than a small star at the best of times. Sometimes we see a star through it. That's the moon. That's the projection into our atmosphere where light is made. That stuff, light, it's made in the atmosphere from solar radiant energy projected into the atmosphere to cause it to ionize, fluoresce, glow. Let there be light. That's what daylight is. The moon, meanwhile, gets direct solar radiant energy onto its actual physical body, which is quite small, with physical craters, and where the solar radiant energy hits the surface, it gets projected through the firmament B, the ozone layer, just 12-14 miles high, creating another plasma version of itself. And any part that isn't lit by the sun has nothing to project, therefore remains invisible. In this light, twilight, there's sufficient ionisation of the atmosphere to allow the dark part to be slightly seen. But as soon as it goes totally dark, you will not see the so-called dark part. So much chemtrails shit in the air today too. You won't see that dark part at all, unless it is severe overexposure. Anyway, I just thought I'd show you my observation, my daily observations of what can be seen in the sky on a daily basis. If there's clouds around over there, that's not cloud, that's chemcrap. They would have been previously, at least, had sufficient neon in the atmosphere locally to be reflected as the orange colours beneath it. I've captured that multiple times before. Anyway, that glow is not the shadow of the earth. The sun has not gone beneath anything, because if it had, All those mountains would be casting a massive shadow across the sky. There would be zero twilight in the east. That would be just darkness, instant night. I'll take things that never happen, never will happen, for 100 billion. Thanks, Alex.